we're in. Sorry for that. I think the problem was on my end. My game crashed. Unfortunately. I think the boys are going to be a few laps in. Uh, yeah, we're on lap 7. Looks like... what just happened? It's a little weird. I don't know if those guys are all disqualified. Let me just go to the race director. Catch you up on the instance. Uh, Collision warning. Dream Indigo parked in a dangerous location. That's a new one. I don't think I've seen that. Looks like just a bunch of 3-second penalties. Nick gets a speeding under virtual safety car. Karem crashed out. Uh-oh. That's not good for Racing Point. Looks like Bat Boy, Wakanda, Yuri, and iQuicks all had front wings change, and Red Bull just sent it into the wall. I lead for 5 laps, guys. 5 laps. And it all kicks off. Oh my goodness. Um yeah, looks like we missed out on some stuff. I don't know why the black and white flags are showing up for those guys. Do those guys all have drive-throughs? I only saw one drive-through penalty. I don't know. And Yoda hits a wall. Gee. These guys can't behave themselves for 5 laps while I try to rejoin. Really? Really? Ugh, that's tough. But oh well, we carry on. Yeah, for those of you that just joined from the old stream, sorry about that. Lobby crash, stream crash. I think it was a problem on my end, unfortunately. But we're all underway, but we did miss 5 DNFs. A disqualification for Dream Indigo for parking the car on the track. iQuicks just like sent it into a wall for fun. And now the entire not drivers championship, constructor championship rests on Andre's shoulders, and we're in a safety car. So yeah, that's what we missed. It's hilarious even saying that. Insanity, I think, is the word that most people would use to describe this. But nevertheless, we push on. We keep going. God, that safety car is so nice. I love the Mercedes AMG GT. It's a fantastic looking car. I think we have a new safety car next year. I really didn't really get what they did, but I think like half the races are going to use Aston Martin and half the races are going to use Mercedes, but I don't really know how that's going to work. As we lose SLR, he did DNF earlier, but he has lost the lobby. Left the lobby, not lost. Why'd I say lost? Never mind. As Yuri picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. It's all kicking off, and none of it's on track. Thanks for the lobby invite, Andre. I appreciate it, but the lobby invites are coming in now, but hopefully we will be under green flag conditions. We shall see. I don't think this will be a long safety car, but I'm not really sure. But as of now, it is just the monotony of safety car. And we are green, green, green. Good getaway for Virus. Almost breaks the DRS back to Andre. Of course, that won't be in effect for another 3 laps, because they don't happen post-safety car. But Alex Bomberg down P6 does not bode well, especially seeing as Virus is in P1. So let's take a look at your quote-unquote live championship standings. Let me just check on that right now. Yeah, Alex Bomberg is only 5 points clear of Virus, so as of now, Virus is going to be P2 in the Drivers' Championship, as Andre and Crumpton go back and forth. Good battle between those two, keeping it clean as of now. It's a great shot there. The car is rounding this fast double right-hander, immediately on the brakes here, down towards this double left-hander under the Aramco sign. And yeah, it looks like Virus has gotten out to an absolute flyer here on this restart. First lap under green flag conditions, he's 1.2, almost 1.4 across the line, clear of Andre down in P2 as he rounds the long left-handers and through this left-right combo. This is flat all the way for these guys up towards the chicane. I love these night races. They really do the lighting really well in this F1 2020 game. Very realistic coming from the lights. Migrating host here as Yuri has left the session after a DNF. Looks like he's just pulled into the pits, or I don't really know what happened, but now and then there were 12, I suppose. 12 races here out of 18 that started the race. I don't think KJ really counts as a DNF because he wasn't even really supposed to be in the race in the first place, but no matter. Looks like Andre has closed that gap a bit over the course of this lap. It is now about exactly a second. little over a second, just big enough. The gap is just big enough to stay at a DRS. But I think that Andre might find himself creeping. It's kind of fluctuating between that gap, so it's going to be close once we actually get DRS next lap. But now that gap growing to 1.1 seconds, it's just like going back and forth and back and forth. But now the gap grows to 1.4. So, I mean, sheesh, it's just going back and forth. But now the gap grows even more. This is confusing because Andre obviously had pace in qualifying. But it just seems like this gap is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the laps go on. He's even probably out of slipstream by now, so not getting any tow down these straights. As you see, the gap closes a bit on the straights, but just like not enough. It's really confusing. That's a great shot. Look at all the midfield bunched up down the straight. Alex Bomberg in P5 again is losing grip of P2 in the Drivers' Championship because of the fact that Virus is in P1 right now, and Alex only in P5 is going to have to make up some positions because there's only a 5-point difference between them. So if Virus wins this race, then that's P2 clinched pretty easily. Big wag of oversteer there from Alex, pushing it through that chicane just to try to close that gap to the drivers in front. Gap is now 2 seconds from Virus back to Andre, so Virus really stretching those legs and showing off the pace. In about 5 laps time, he'll be able to switch over to a soft tire and then probably take it to the end. And barring anything absurd, and I'd say that with the fact that something absurd always happens in VRL, so I mean, this is by no means over. By no means is this race over. But it does look like Virus is strutting his stuff for sure. That gap now under 2 seconds, but a gap being under 2 seconds is not exactly a massive achievement, so Andre, I think he's going to have to close this gap within these next 5 laps, or else this game, what am I talking about? This race is probably pretty close to over. But crazier things have happened here in VRL, so, you know, this is by no means already over, so we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Crumpton also losing a bit of time to Jamil's, or Andre. His name is Jamil in-game, so we keep calling him that, but is it enough for Andre to stay in front? I think it will be enough for him to stay in front of Crumpton. I don't think Crumpton is Crumpton, man, I don't know if he's gaining or losing time to Wakanda, but certainly Andre's gonna have to have absolute charge to get up to Virus, because just I don't know why he doesn't have the pace. It's just a little. It's a weird one. It's a weird one for sure. As we push on to lap 15, all's even, honestly. I don't think anything has happened here. I really think that it's been like this since the safety car. But, I mean, this race, in the beginning it had some fireworks, but now, in all honesty, it's fairly dull. Again, this is a stage of the race where the drivers just kind of find their rhythm. Nothing much is happening. You start to see some gaps form, like the one from Virus to Andre, and then from Andre to Crumpton. But we will see if those gaps close, because there could just be an injection of pace from those guys. They find their rhythm and, you know, start nailing apexes, just flowing throughout the track. You know how these guys get. They just, once they kind of flip the switch, they're pretty much unstoppable. Especially Andre, with so much F1 experience. Certainly he's been in these positions before, so this is not new to him. This is not he's not some rookie that's in his first stressful situation. I mean, he's been here before, so I think that experience is going to help him a lot. But he's just going to have to keep pushing, keep his head down. I wonder if they're using any like ERS or anything like that. Let me just turn on telemetry. If you guys want me to keep this on, just tell me. I normally don't, but it could be interesting for some guys to look at. So if you want telemetry to stay on, just drop a comment, and that can stay on. I'll keep it on for now. It's not too distracting, but yeah, it does look like that Andre is kind of out of ERS. Looks like Virus has a lot more to use. And then Crumpton is again sitting at that 50% mark that Virus is at, but Andre just really has no battery at all at his disposal, and it looks like we are going to be under safety car conditions here as Virus and Andre both ducking into the pits. Soft or medium tire here? That is the question. It is going to be the soft tire for Andre, and I assume the same thing for Virus. Let's just check with him. Yep, soft tire going on for them. That will be the last stop of the race. They're on the quickest tire now, so we will see who's quicker on the soft tire. Again, in qualifying, Andre was the quicker racer on the soft tire, but race pace, it's a big does not always. I can't form a sentence, apparently. Qualifying pace does not guarantee that you're going to be fast on that tire in the race. So, we'll keep an eye on that. And, oh my goodness, I didn't even notice. It looks like Virus has gone onto the medium tire. That is interesting. I wonder if the tire wear up to this point has been pretty bad for them, so that Virus has gone onto that tire just to kind of make sure that, you know, his tires aren't going to explode at the end of the race. The interesting part is that there's nothing really in it for Andre. If he wins the race, it doesn't change anything in the Drivers' Championship. And in the Constructors, he only needs to score 14 points. So in theory, if he holds second place, he will have the same result in securing the Constructors and the double for Racing Point. I wonder if he knew, if he knew that Virus is going to go into the mediums, then would he then go on to the mediums as well? That makes sense to me. for him to kind of do the same as Virus, but I don't really know if Andre is in a position where he needs to take risks. I think no matter what place he finishes in this race, the result is going to be the same. But then again, he's had a tough season in F1, not getting many race victories. He had a chance at one at his home race in Brazil, but unfortunately crashed out of that one. So maybe he's just looking for a confidence boost. His pace has been good all, not weekend, but our virtual weekend, consisting of qualifying and race, obviously. And his time trial times, as far as I know, were pretty quick. So I wonder if that's not enough of a confidence boost in an otherwise pretty disappointing season for him. So maybe he needs this last thing to cap it off. I'm sure I would want to win this race if I were in Andre's situation, but you never know. Yeah, and then again, it just seems like this risk is just not a necessary one. But to Virus, maybe or to Jamil, maybe it seems like it's necessary, which is kind of the only thing that matters. We're still under safety car here. The safety car has not brought it in for a while. Normally in F1 that would mean that the incident has a long time to get cleared, but obviously in the video game it just gets kind of automatically cleared on its own virtually. So you don't need to worry about anything like getting the car out of the way. Crumpton is a guy that you could look at off the restart too. He's on fresh tires as well, so he'll kind of be on the same pace as Andre and Virus. But we will have at least another lap of safety car conditions. And we are green here. Let's see if Andre's going to get a good restart. He, in all honesty, does not look like Virus just got kind of nailed the restart. As the leader, you obviously do have an advantage when going from yellow to green flag conditions because you kind of dictate when the group goes, at least before the start-finish line. So, Andre on the soft tire, but kind of seemingly behind on pace here. Obviously able to save overtake as you see, so he's going to use some of that. Because he was able to kind of keep hold of that. But yeah, it's kind of hard to tell whether or not, they have the pace. And it looks like, I don't know if he made a mistake. In all honesty, I was looking at F1 on my phone. But did he make a mistake there? Let me look at the replay. I should really be getting off my phone, but let's see. He's on the straight. Overtake mode is on. Coming up to the back of Virus. Yeah, he makes a mistake. He runs way wide. He actually did get hit by Crumpton there. He has to cut the chicane. Gives him a bad run onto the back straight. And then from there, he's kind of screwed. But now, Andre, if you're P4, let me think, 25, 18, 15. Is P4 12 points? Because in that case, I believe that Renault would have the advantage in the constructors championship. I am not really sure how. Let me look. How many points? For I believe it's 12 points because P3 is 15. Yeah, it is 12 points. So, with Racing Point needing to score 14 points to secure the Drivers' Championship, Andre needs to overtake Nick Pancras. He needs to get P3. On the soft tire, it's certainly possible. But as we've seen, Andre's kind of already made a couple mistakes here. So, he's kind of playing Nico Hulkenberg's role here. He was asked to come over and drive for them, and he probably was not expecting to. He may have wanted to. I think I saw in the group chat that he was kind of angling. Soft should do 7 to 8 laps. So I wonder, I mean, his tires in 4 or 5 laps time might just fall off a cliff. So he's going to have to do his best Nico Hulkenberg impression. Have a recovery drive from a seat that he was not expected to have. And he's going to have to get past Nick. Racing Point can also score less. Yeah, so what is it? It's a... Let me look at the gap. Let's do some quick maths. It is a 31-point gap. So they're going to have to get a net score. So they're going to have to score 31 more points than him. So if Carême scores 12 points, they're going to have to score 47. If Carême scores 12 points, that means it's a... No, I'm sorry. They're going to have to score 43. And a Renault 1-2 would give them 43 points. So, Wakanda's going to have to go on a charge here, get past Nick, and then get past Andre. And then, eventually, chase down Crumpton, which I'm not even sure is possible at this point with 7 laps remaining once we cross the start-finish line. Hits the wall there with his right tire and runs wide through the following corner. So he was close to Nick throughout that section, but he loses a bit of time through there with that wall hit and then running wide. Yeah, I will check penalties now. Please, nothing important happen. 5 second for Alex, warning, warning. 3 second for Yuri, doesn't matter. I'm just looking for penalties for Alex, doesn't matter. Yoda, doesn't matter. iQuicks, doesn't matter. Carême has a 3 second penalty, but he's already out. Yuri, Xavi, Carême again. Drive through for SLR. I don't know if he served that or not. 5 seconds for Yavi, 5 seconds for Yoda, 10 seconds for Yuri. Yuri seems to have a lot of penalties. Nick Pancras, warning. Nick Pancras, 3 seconds, so that is 1 position. Oh, it's not 1 position for Wakanda because he himself has a 3 second time penalty. Brady with 3 seconds. Crompton with... So Crompton and Andre both have 5... Oh, Crompton has a 10 second penalty. Andre a 5. Then another 3 for Andre. Uh-oh, this could get interesting. This could get interesting. 3 for Wakanda again. So that's what, 6 for Wakanda, 15 for Andre. I don't know if those severe collision penalties will get scrubbed out. Oh, you know what? That was silly of me. Detail penalties. So, wow, look, so helpful, Carême. Thank you so much. This is what you get from a championship winner. So yeah, 13 seconds for Crompton, 8 seconds for Andre. So Wakanda's gonna make up 3 seconds on Nick. He's already past Nick, actually, so he's gonna make up 2 seconds. Oh my goodness, it looks like there's some fighting between Brady Pollock and Alex Bomberg. Let me move back up to Nick and Wakanda. So he's gonna make up 6 seconds on Nick, so this fight doesn't even really matter, but it does look like he will get past him anyways. He's gonna make up 2 seconds. Yeah, so it looks like there's enough for a 1-2, because he's gonna make up 2 seconds on Andre. Well, he's currently 3 seconds back of Andre, and he is currently 5 seconds back of Crumpton. So as of now, he will finish behind Andre and ahead of Crumpton. So that's certainly something to keep an eye on. I'm gonna turn that to that, but that is something to keep an eye on. If someone else picks up another penalty, so basically, if Wakanda closes the gap to Andre to less than 2 seconds, in theory, that's a 1-2 and enough for a Renault win. But Andre can maybe remove yeah, some of those collision penalties are glitched out sometimes, like under safety car. A lot of the safety car penalties are glitched out. So we'll see. Looks like Crumpton is actually getting fairly close to Virus. Andre not really making any progress on the soft tire. He is up into P3 though, which is important because that does get him his 15 points. So if Andre finishes P3, it doesn't really matter, I think. Because if he scores 15, that's 45 points. They would only score 43. So in theory, Racing Point would win the championship by 2 points. It's a close one. There's a lot in it. There's still plenty of time to go. Andre with literally no battery, but Wakanda 4 seconds back of him. That's a tough one. This is so stupid. Racing Point. Yeah, Kerem, I just don't know. There's so much math to do. Once we see the final standings, it might not even be final, because then we have to figure out all the penalties. So, this is, even when the race is over, it's not going to be over. Still plenty of drama in it. I called this race boring earlier. How could I shouldn't have done that. Every time I call the race boring, something happens. Well, maybe it's good. Maybe I should call more races boring, so less races are boring. That's solid logic. Mems is gonna hold Jamil up. Well, I don't know if Mems is going to be the one doing the holding up. Crumpton gets into P1 in the Ferrari, using all of what little battery he has left. He's at 2%, 1%. I mean, literally no battery left. He's going to probably have to drop it down to mode 0 if he wants to recover any battery. Virus is going to send it up the inside. Can he possibly hold that around the outside? He runs wide. Oh, no! Virus is spun. He hits Crumpton in the rear. I don't really think that was Crumpton's fault. His teammate Wakanda is going to get past. Is Nick going to be able to close the gap in time? It does not look like it, but an absolute disaster for them. In a weird way, that might have worked out, because now Wakanda's in P3. Wakanda could jump Andre and Crumpton on penalties. Oh my goodness, it is all kicking off in these final 3 laps. 3 laps to go here. 26, no, 4 laps, never mind. Close to 3 laps to go here. This is absolute insanity. Yeah, it certainly is not over. Andre could close the gap up to Crumpton pretty handily. Crumpton might be having some internet issues too. I don't know if he's ghosted or if yeah, Crumpton has been ghosted, which means that Andre is going to inherit P1. which means that Wakanda and Virus are going to inherit positions 2 and 3. Is that going to be enough for them to win a championship? And that's unfortunate from Crumpton. He was just really quick. But now we're really on 3 laps. 3 laps to go here. And it's about to be 2 laps to go on this. It's almost the penultimate lap. Yeah, Wakanda is coming up on Crumpton now. His Ghost, at least. Virus not too far behind him. As we're really into the night now, the lights are going to provide our only luminance for these final 2 laps of this beautiful racetrack. Wouldn't it be funny if Crumpton's Ghost is the one thing that's keeping Renault from a Constructors' Championship? But here we go. Our penultimate lap. It looks like that Wakanda is going to get past Crumpton pretty handily, which means that Virus is going to have a chance to get past him as well. And Alex Bomberg is losing 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship. I wonder if he spun. Did he spin? Yes, he sure did. He is off at the chicane. He's going to park it there and I believe retire from this race. No, looks like he's going to try to stay in it. I don't know if he just ran wide. Yeah, it looks like he's... Oh, no! He spins it in the pit lane. I don't know if he reset to track there. It really doesn't matter. But if I were him, I'd slap on a pair of softs and a wing to try and get fastest lap. But that could be 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship, slipping away for Alex Bomberg. I don't know if I'll be able to calculate the final standings. And even if I do, they won't be official because stewards still have to go over the penalties and such, but I can give you the provisional final standings once all the drivers cross the line. Virus does clear Crumpton's Ghost, and I believe that means that Virus is going to inherit P2 in the Drivers' Championship from Alex Bomberg. Still a lap and a half to go here in this exciting season finale, probably one of the more exciting races. Check his tires if he has a little line on the tire. I think his tires should be okay. I don't know. Let's see how he's driving. Looks like he still has plenty of grip. He's able to get the power down. He's kind of skating it through that corner. I don't know, but he will begin his final lap here. Wakanda is closing a bit, but most likely not quickly enough. He's going to have to make these tires last one more lap. We do see the fuel warnings going off for both these guys. They're going to have to manage that. Yeah, it looks like he's able to hold it flat pretty easily, so I think the tires are in decent shape. Let's check on our penalties here. Oh my goodness, this is going to be ever so close, guys. They're going to have to close this gap to less than 2 seconds. Jamil Andre has 8 seconds of penalties. Wakanda and Virus have 6 seconds of penalties each. If it stays like this, in theory, Jamil will be not your champion, but Racing Point will be your champions. They're going to have to close this gap to less than 2 seconds, and I just don't think it's possible because Virus is 4 seconds back. Let me change it to gap to leader, which will be a lot easier to see. And then change it to penalties. Picking up more penalties for Virus, so Virus mathematically cannot inherit P2 from Andre, even if he slips down. It's literally, oh my goodness, it dips below 2 seconds here. 1.9 seconds separates them with 2 seconds of penalty time. This is ridiculous stuff. I think that the tires are kind of falling off. Now, final 2 corners. Andre across the line. I think he's done enough here, guys. Fireworks going off. He does win the race. The gap is less than 2 seconds. Jamil wins the Andre wins the race on track. Wakanda is going to win it off the track. And Virus gets jumped by Brady Pollock in the Alpha Tau. Wow, what a drive from Brady Pollock. Great stuff from him. I don't think he had many penalties. And I think that is the championship wrapped up. I believe that is it. I think I'm not gonna. It's not an official call. Still have to wait for the stewards to take a look. What, Mike? Whoops. But again, this is not an official declaration because we still have to look at penalties and stuff like that, and the stewards have to decide whether penalties will be erased. As of now, Racing Point have done the double, with Karem winning the Drivers' Championship, and of course, BWT Racing Point Mercedes winning the Drivers. It's a shame we won't see any donuts. It's my favorite part of Abu Dhabi because we always see someone whipping some doughs, but you know. Pepin wins driver. Unfortunately, guys, I have to get to an appointment, so I don't have time for post-race interviews. Please keep an eye on the Instagram for announcements about team and drivers championships, like the final standing and things of that nature. That is it for Vrl F2 Season 5. Thank you so much for being there with me along for the ride. This was a first for me. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really thrilled that it turned out the way that it did. It was a really fantastic experience. I enjoyed every second of it. Congratulations to Karem, and as of now, congratulations to Racing Point on fantastic season. Congratulations to all the other drivers for bringing us such exciting races. We couldn't do it without all the drivers. It's really fantastic to see all those guys kind of come together and bring us this content that we're so lucky to have. Until next time, for VRL Racing League, signing off, and I will see you in Season 6.